What are we doing today now, Gerald?
I'm going to do a free with all the above the lead, free up the line.
What, clipped?
Clip, yes.
Okay, so what do we need to tie this rig then, Gerald?
Right, we actually need a Gemini clip, 6 crimps, a larger swivel for the top of the rig, 2 smaller swivels, 2 cascades, and a spring, and plus the bait stops. And also we've got our bait stops here that go behind the that will go behind the sequence. There we go.
Okay, great.
I've got £60. This is for the rig body.
Right.
So we're doing the down the line, so we want them all to be about 14 in imperial, 14 inches long about, which would be about
I can't work out
30 centimetres, something like that.
Yeah.
3 of them and a little bit extra for that.
And that's £60 monofill on there, is it?
Yeah, it is, yeah. Monofill clear. Where are we? Right, here we go. Right, so we get our Gemini clip to start with. We will be using black amnesia because it's easier to see on the video, but actually I would probably use clear, £25 black amnesia, but I would use £25 clear. If the conditions are really clear, I'd probably go down to £20 amnesia. Right, we use the lead to pull the thing up, the little clip on the lead, it helps easier to pull the rig up. Right, then on the body, rig body, cut it slightly at an angle, it's easier to threadle the beads on then. Right, so then we start threadling this all on. You need a crimp first, and then we need a bead.
Right, you probably notice a bit of noise in the background because we're doing this in Tony's shop. We mentioned that in earlier videos, but if it's the first time you've watched one of Gerald's building rigs, yeah, we are in a shop and there's talking going on in the background.
Right, now we need a cascade. Right there, a cascade. And then another bead.
Is it important which end of the cascade you put on to the line?
Yeah, you do it so it's going facing down the line. You've got your cascade. You would actually put your cascade like that, and you come through from the back like that through there and up, and yeah, that's and facing
it's
downwards.
The oval shaped eye on the cascade, isn't it? As opposed to the round eye.
Yeah. Right, now we need 2 crimps now. They're not easy to pick up, the crimps actually. 1, 2, and then another bead. A bit fiddly finding the little holes in the beads, to be honest with you. Right, cascade. Same thing as Chris said, like that. So it's down the line. Another bead. I find it easier to use it off of the bead on the thing instead of taking them off. Right, now we need another crimp, another 2 crimps, 1 for the top of that rig and 1 for the bottom of the rig hook length above it. Right, so 2 of them, another bead, and now we use a spring now. This is to tension the rig up so that it's nicely and don't fall apart when you clip it. It does sound complicated, but it's not actually once you're doing them. Another bead. when you get used to making, you probably make them in 20 minutes, 15 minutes. Right, now we need a small swivel, a diamond eye one end and a thing there. That goes on there. The diamond eye is what you tie your hook length to. That's that. Just check that you've got all your components on there. That's correct. Now you use a slightly larger swivel for the top. This is where you clip it to your main line. 3 blood knot again, 3 turns, just an ordinary blood knot. And then pull it up with your lead. That's the rig body done now. Right, that's the rig body ready to tie the hook lengths on and your hooks on. Right, so we start with the hooks. I'll do the 2 bottom ones first and then adjust the length of the top one to make sure it's all right. This is about that. This is the bottom one. Right, now we've got to put a bait stop. You can use 2 of the bait stops if you feel like you need a little bit more, if you think it's sliding too much. Alright, now the hooks. Cool, sharp and hooks. 3 again. Alright, that's the bottom hook done. Now the second hook. As we said, we would use clear amnesia unless I was fishing in really cloudy, rough conditions or at night. Bait stop again. And then you cascade that stops the lugworm or whatever you're using going up the line. Lucky. That one. Right, now we're going to the top one. Bait stop. Yeah, it does, yeah. Right.
I mean, I sometimes use a hook to open it back up again.
Yeah, I did. I just did it then. Yeah, I did. But when you're trying to do it,
Yeah. And it's a sequin,
yeah,
not a cascade.
a sequin. Yeah, oh, God, yeah.
I would have said what it would have been at the time, and I couldn't think of the word sequin.
Sequin. That stops the lugworm or whatever sliding up the
Yeah.
line.
And it's a little bit of bling as well, a little bit of a flash in the water.
You do catch the odd mackerel on them.
Yeah. But I mean, the place, you know, you might see, they might see a little flash.
I think they probably do, yeah, without doubt. Right, now, if you've got a hook somewhere on a wall, it can, or use your rod rest to do this. Yeah. It might make life slightly easier.
And what I could do is I could be that hook for you. So.
No, it's all right. Right, got it. Right, let's get this one.
So same as we saw before, he's clipped the bottom hook in. We start from the bottom working up.
Yeah.
And then once it's under tension on the bait clip, you crimp it into place.
Yeah. And leave a slight gap here.
Yeah.
So it's got the cascade effect can work, hence the name.
And also you've got to be very careful when you're crimping the crimps. That you
Yeah.
don't crimp them too tight because you will cut the line.
You could do, if you really pressed it hard. But you can actually get designated crimping pliers, but they're not as good as they seem they are.
Yeah, no, I have got some crimping pliers, and you're right, they ain't that good. You're better off using the edge of side cutter on a pair of pliers.
Yeah, you are, yeah. See, that's right, and that's worked out absolutely perfectly. Right, you slightly tension your
the spring,
so you've got the spring tension correctly. Crimp the last one up. There we have it. There we've got a lovely 3-hook all above the lead line, which is a perfect rig for any kind of flatfish, whitings, everything, if you need to cast a little bit further because it's clipped. Hate as well, if it gets dark, if you're fishing for daylight into dark, then you don't need to clip. You can just leave them hanging like that and use it as an unclipped rig if you need to.
right?
So you don't need two different rigs really.
Yeah.
Lovely.
Okay, excellent. Thanks very much for that, Gerald.